Warm greetings from C3S. Welcome to a brand new episode of C3S Interview. Today's topic for discussion is the 20th Party Congress of the Communist Party of China. The Party Congress will be setting the tone for China's next 5 years. For decoding the 20th Party Congress, we have with us here today Lieutenant General P.R. Shankar, PVSM AVSM VSM retired. Lieutenant General P.R. Shankar is a retired Director General of Artillery. He is an alumnus of National Defence Academy, Kadakwasla, Defence Service Staff College, Wellington, Army War College, Naval Postgraduate School, Monterey, and National Defence College, New Delhi. He has held many important command, staff, and instructional appointments in the Army. Lieutenant General P.R. Shankar has vast operational experience, having served in all kinds of terrain and operational situations. He gave great impetus to the modernization of the artillery through indigenization. He has a deep knowledge, understanding, and experience in successful defense planning and acquisition, spanning over a decade. He is now a professor in the aerospace department of the IIT Madras. He is actively involved in applied research. We welcome you, sir, to the interview.
Oh, thanks a lot, Ms. Sapna, and thanks for calling me for this interview. It's an honor to be back with the C3S.
Yes,
You can start.
So let me start the interview with the first main question, sir.
Yeah.
So for the understanding of our viewers, could you give a brief idea of what is Party Congress and what can we expect from the 20th Party Congress that's going to happen in 2 days when we are conducting this interview in terms of the leadership change in Communist Party of China?
See, you have to understand that the 20th Party Congress is, of course, it's a 20th Party Congress, all right, but this is a once in a 5-year event.
Mm.
Right, from 72 onwards, they've regularly held it. Earlier, it used to be once, twice, thrice, depending on, every 1 or 2 years, depending on what Mao thought then. But from 72, every 5 years, once it is held. So what happens in this? In this, what they do is they get hold of, the delegates from all over the Communist Party. About 3,200 odd delegates come. They get nominated from various parts of the country. They come and attend the party meet. From this 3,200 odd people, about 270 guys members are elected as the central committee. Now, out of the central committee of 370 people, 25 are elected as the members of the Politburo. And out of those 25 members of the Politburo, 5 to 9, depending on how, are nominated as a Politburo Standing Committee. This is the apex, and this is headed by the General Secretary of the party, which is Xi Jinping. Currently, the Politburo Standing Committee has 7 people. Okay, so this is the broad thing. Now, for 1 week in this party congress, various issues will be discussed for about a week. There'll be internal issues, there'll be external issues, they'll be related to party affairs, X, Y, Z. But very importantly, what will happen? Importantly, the party congress will set the tone for the next 5 years as to how the party has to take China forward. So every part of the story, they will give out a policy, whether it's economy, whether it's diplomacy, whether it is, whatever, military, everything. There'll be a policy for the next 5 years, which everyone is supposed to follow. And this is also the time when the party leadership is elected. All these elections take place, whether to the central committee or the Politburo or the central, Politburo Standing Committee. Right? And they have a rule which they put together when Deng Xiaoping was there in the turn of the century. It's called 8 up, 7 down. So what is 8 up, 7 down? If you're 68, you're out of the equation. If you're 67, you're still there. Now, Xi Jinping is 69. So will he go out? No. We all know that. He's manipulated to be getting back into the third term. But there are a lot of others in this Politburo and the Politburo Standing Committee who will go out and new ones will come. It's also rumored that the Prime Minister Li Keqiang will go out, and there are two, three names. It depends on who uh, Xi Jinping chooses, who will be the Prime Minister. So there'll definitely a change in the Prime Minister. There'll be a change in the Politburo Standing Committee. There'll be a change in uh, uh, the Politburo itself, right? And also the larger committee, central committee. So all three apex bodies, you'll see a fair lot of change. Now the rumor, I won't say the rumor, the obvious thing which is happening is Xi Jinping will put all his people. So, okay, so that he has got full power over them, right? Then he will also amend the constitution with the help of these new members. And that constitution will give him the third term. New constitution. They'll amend because the constitution today doesn't cater for the third term. And he might even amend the constitution so that he's crowned for life. So all this is on the cards, right? And then now you have to understand under the party is the PLA and the Central Military Commission. Last year, sometime about 5-6 months back, he has already changed the entire Central Military Commission. So the Central Military Commission is in his pocket already. Now he'll put the party in his pocket. Then he will be the kingpin and sole kingpin in China. So this is in terms of the leadership change which we should expect, and it will become virtually like a one-man party. I won't say one-man party, one-leader party, like it was in the days of Mao Zedong. So that is where China is headed. Virtual dictatorship is going to be the result of this, party congress. Okay, yeah,
So you mentioned about the constitutional change, and you equated Xi to Mao Zedong. So according to all many sources and analysis, Xi Jinping will be elected for a third term.
yeah,
As to constitutional changes, many analysts also believe that, as you said, Xi will be put on the pedestal equal to Mao Zedong
yeah.
as a party chairman. So if that happens, what will be the trajectory China's politics will be taking, assuming that this would take place?
See, for that you have to understand what Xi Jinping is. Xi Jinping is an absolute, leftist, dyed-in-the-wool Maoist Marxist kind of a guy. So he's got to first and foremost close all reforms. He's already he's emasculated a lot of private enterprises like Alibaba, Tencent, Meituan, Didi, everything we are gone. Uh, and he'll put all public sector undertakings to the fore. There'll be more state control. It'll become absolutely a communist nation. All the reforms, ideology will prevail over everything else. That's the first thing. That's what is apparent. And the underpinning of this ideology will be Xi Jinping's thought. The Xi Jinping thought will come to the fore. So, what is this Xi Jinping thought? He talks of rejuvenation of the Chinese nation, achievement of the great Chinese dream, China to be a strong, prosperous, economic, militarily strong power by 2049, a modern democracy. He talks of democracy. What kind of democracy he have is a question mark. So these are the things he is talking of. He is talking of common prosperity, everything. So what politics will it be? It will all be left politics. Absolutely state-controlled politics. To a large extent, it will resemble something like the USSR of the olden days, right? So, and since it, there is also a view that he will assume that kind of past that it will be beyond Mao, okay? And he is anointing himself as the most consequential leader in Chinese history. In fact, he's already got uh, a history doctored to his taste, and all museums and history artifacts, everything, are tuned to his thought. So that is what we're going to see in the future. Okay, yeah,
So you also mentioned about the military, he being the chairman of the Central Military Commission. So Being the chairman of the Central Military Commission, what would be the major policies Xi will be trying to implement uh, to meet his vision of world class military by 2025? And what does civil military fusion's role in achieving this vision?
I'll first talk of the civil military fusion, then get to the other one. The civil
Yes.
military fusion is all about getting cutting edge technology into the armed forces, right? And this cutting edge technology could be stolen, it could be anything through uh, their technologically sound private institutions. So it is and through the civil infrastructure which is available, and also integrating the civil infrastructure for their mobilization and logistic duties during war. So that it's a whole of the nation approach. Okay, to make PLA technologically competent and logistically sustainable in case of a war, especially with a strong adversary. When they say strong adversary, it is USA or even competent adversary like India. They need to have that edge. So that is why the civil military fusion. Now, when you say world class military, where will China this thing? Their aim is to have the strongest military on earth. Now they're integrating all kinds of technologies to make the military strong. Whether it's space technology, whether it's unmanned technologies, whether it's underwater technologies or nuclear technologies. Yeah, he has given the nuclear arsenal of China Philip, and that's being modernized, right? And he's also making, the PLA Navy as one. It's already the one with the maximum number of boats already, warships. He wants to make it a world-class navy which is able to dominate the oceans. It also means that building bases all over from where the PLA can operate. And he is giving a major maritime orientation to the entire PLA, right? And in this, his first step is to get hold of Taiwan. And once he gets Taiwan, a lot of other things fall in place into that. And then he is able to dominate the um, uh, global seas. That will give him sustenance to manage the BRI more well. Because the BRI is existing in about 80, 90 countries already.
Mm.
Trade with those countries will start, and if you can dominate the seas, your trade will go uninterrupted. So that is the whole story of this world-class military. Okay, and of course, as far as India is concerned, they are building up the infrastructure along the LAC, and they're trying to induct maximum weapons, especially missiles, on the LAC, so that any event along the LAC is to their advantage. They are already leaning forward on the LAC to ensure that this LAC becomes a de facto border in times to come, as per their perception. So this is all about the military of China, or where it will go, and the contours of that will come out during this, meet.
So, for achieving the world class military mission of 2025, the economy is very important.
Yeah.
China's economic expansion has been slowing down as a result of external and internal factors. And they're also facing a lot of geopolitical issues abroad. So, if and because of this, there are a lot of structural issues also that are going inside the party. What hurdles in terms of policy might Xi expect uh, as he consolidates power?
See, the fact that he has consolidated power is beyond question. There will be no hurdles, right? Let's be very clear. Because one thing which is there, which many people miss, we might feel that he is doing something very funny and crazy and all that. But the people on the ground like him. They feel that he's done a lot for China. So he's got grassroots support. Now, in the past 10 years, he's also carried out a purge of all his opponents. Nearly about 10 lakh people have been written off. Or either they've been sidelined or sent to jail or finished over the past 10 years. And off late, all those people who are anti Z, have been sorted out. It's ongoing. So there is really no opposition to his power at this point of time. Okay. Where will the opposition come from? The opposition will come if the economy goes down. We have to remember there's a social contract between the communists and the people. What is that social contract? The communists have told the people, we will give you all material comforts. We will take care of everything, but you will give us your freedoms. Okay. If the economy tanks or it slows down, and if people don't get what they have been promised, then the social contract would break. And that will be the biggest danger to Xi Jinping's power. Now, there are problems as of today in this entire story of economy. We know that there's a zero COVID. Now, the news which is coming out from the 20th Party Congress people is that zero COVID will not go. If zero COVID doesn't go, there's going to be mass lockdowns. There's going to be uh, mass testing, everything, and that means their economy is going to get slowed down even further. So there's a problem. The second thing is China is facing huge geopolitical headwinds. You know, they got problems with China, America. They've got problems with the West. They've got problems with Japan. They got problems with Korea. They got problems with Australia and us. These are the big economies. Okay, so uh, they're going to have economic problems on this score. As a result of all this, and because of the COVID behavior they had, there's a lot of relocation of industry out of China. The supply chains are disrupted and they're getting relocated. For example, Apple. Apple had the only source of Apple phones was 2 years back in China. Today it's there in Chennai also, right? There's a factory in Chennai also, so it's relocated. So similarly, there are more, okay, who are trying to get out of that of China, because the business environment there is very hazy. People are unsure, and also China has had a habit of stealing intellectual property rights and all that. So they don't want to be there, and foreigners are leaving China. Why foreigners? There are even rich Chinese who are buying apartments in Malaysia and Singapore and sending their children out and all that. So that is the danger for Z. It's not political thing. So if that happens, and like the youth are also disillusioned, you see, they don't not getting jobs. They got problems, and plus their major problem is of course their demography is changing. The population is declining. So if you put all these together, so there are socio-cultural issues which will threaten him more than the political issues. Yeah.
So, Ash, Xi Jinping will be stamping his authority over China for the third term, the first leader to do so after Mao Zedong. The most pertinent question that will be raised is what will be the future of China after Xi?
Well, I that's a little far away at this point of time. Let's say what will be the future of China with Xi, assuming that he's going to be there for 5 years to 10 years. That's the so. What does one see? One sees very clearly that like I told earlier, it's going to be a completely communist state which will lean to the left. State control everything. Okay, he will become more of a dictator as days go by. Complete dictator, like Mao was. Now, there are two options. Either he will relent and ease off after the third term. That's possible, right? That has its own ramifications. And the other way is that he will become aggressive because his economy is down, his diplomacy is down. He geopolitically he's facing a lot of problems. China is facing a lot of problems. He's getting a pushback from a lot of countries. What's going to happen in this tenure? So he's going to, like I said, he'll turn absolutely to the left, right, in one party state, and either he'll relax or he'll go overboard. Now, if he goes overboard, he will then start looking at establishing a Sinocentric global order based on China. He's already spoken. He wants a fair and just international system, right? and he feels that the East is rising and the West is declining. When he says that, it means that China is rising and West is declining, or rather, America is declining, and that China will lead the world. And he's going to use the BRI, in which through BRI he's got about 70 odd countries under his control. So that plus the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, where China is the founder member, to those countries and BRICS, which they feel they lead. Now, using all this, he will establish a global order which is more, or that's what the thing is, that he'll try to establish a global order which is more Sinocentric. Okay. But there are problems in this also. Okay. Why? Because the global south might be high on numbers, but low on value. And he's now gone against almost all the affluent countries and the powerful countries. Right? So he's got a thing like Quad sitting in all these issues. So this is what Xi Jinping's future is. A lot of it will depend on how the economy goes. Okay.
Yes.
Whether he can revive the economy or not will dictate. Now, if he goes, who will come in? We don't know. I mean, because all the guys in that Politburo and the standing committee, everyone will be his chelas, and they're quite insignificant at this point of time. So in 5-6 years, if someone comes up, we'll see. But all the major guys have been written off anyway. Yeah.
So, do you think that, like how it happened in when Xi became the party, do you think
Chairman.
that they will announce some successors this time?
He'll never do it. He didn't do it then. Why will he do it now? And especially when he has to see, the moment he announces a successor, his power will go down. That successor might start, trying to replace him itself. So he'll never do it. He didn't do it for the past 10 years. Why would he do it now? He might do it in the last 1 year when he says, I'll finally go. But that to be seen. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. This was indeed a deep and a very knowledgeable session. Thank you very much for taking out time to have an interview with us. It was a very short but very precise and very informative session, sir. Thank you very much for having here with us today. We hope to have you with such more informative sessions in the future also. Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks a
And
lot.
yes, sir. And for the audience, stay tuned for more such informative sessions from C3S. Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
sir.
Thank you.